I am Nick Shell. I am the alpha of all beta males. That is a fact. No one can ever say any different. More importantly, I am the living legend of hair loss. And this has been my epiphany since getting this new hairstyle, which, by the way, let's help come up with an official name for this hairstyle. I think that's important. Someone said it's called the GI cut, but let me describe it real quick. 3.5 inches on top, number 4 guard on the sides and the back, but it comes down lower here for the number 4. I'm leaving more body up here. That's the cut. For me, I call it the slick back because if it's completely wet and I just comb it, it'll be perfectly combed back like the Godfather. So it's like the Godfather really is the Godfather slick back, you know, is what I ultimately would call it for myself. And it's funny because, you know, that movie was made in 1972, but it was made from a few decades. So it's a very timeless hairstyle, but I think, and this is part of the experiment, is to determine, can younger men pull this off? And I would say absolutely. Now, we all know I turn 38 next month, so I'm not considering myself a young man, but if I were talking to someone who was 23 and you had the same hairline as me and the same density, would this work for you, being truly a younger man? I would say absolutely. I don't think that this hairstyle necessarily is assigned to a different, or to a certain age, but that's why I want to make this video, because here's what I realized. So here's the story. My wife and I got married over 10.5 years ago. Just a couple months after we got married, unfortunately, my wife's father passed away. And a couple years later, my mother-in-law remarried. And so now they've been married for like 8 years at this point. He is, I think, 74 years old, whereas I'm currently 37. So he's basically double my age. That's very easy to say. He's double my age. But as long as I've known him, what hairstyle has he had? This hairstyle. I would actually argue that he doesn't have any diffuse thinning. I'd say our hairlines are pretty similar, but with no diffuse thinning. And this has always been his hairstyle. I've never seen his hair not fixed. It always looks perfectly like this. And by the way, today, this is the product I'm using, my LA Looks gel. So his hair always looks the same. He always has the same hairstyle. And when my wife saw my hairstyle, I was even thinking, okay, so this is the same hairstyle as a man double my age. Is she gonna instantly realize that I have the same haircut as the man her mother married? Which, you know, stepfather, I guess. But it's weird to say stepfather because we were already adults when they got married. But anyway, so she didn't recognize that, and I'm not gonna bring it up. But it is interesting that I do have the same hairstyle as him. And if I keep this hairstyle when I go to California this summer, then it'll be interesting to see that we have the same exact hairstyle despite me being double his age. I mean, him being double my age, I'm half his age. So, there we go. Would we assign a certain age to this hairstyle, or is it just, is it universal and timeless is really what I'm asking you here. Could we look basically for the last 100 years and say, yep, this hairstyle has been around, and not only that, not only is it just as relevant as it was in the 1940s, the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, it's still relevant in 2019, but on top of that, it's universal for men's age. So you could be an 18-year-old guy, you could be 25, you could be 30, you could be pushing 40, you could be double my age, you could be in your mid-70s, and it just still works. It's not an old man haircut. It's not assigned to any specific idea. And because of the way it's not just combed straight back and left that way. It's got that little bit of a messy vibe to it a little bit, but it's still very clean cut. I think it's very universal. I think this is perhaps one of the most universal hairstyles, because even if you have different types of hair, maybe you have very wavy hair, maybe you have very curly hair, but I still think in theory this would really universally look good on most men. If we're talking 3 inches on top, number 4 on the side, I would even say black men, this would totally work. I don't know what that would look like, but I know I finally have some black men watching my video. I'm so excited about that. It took forever for that to happen, but now finally I've got some viewers, and I love that. I love that I've got viewers from all over the world different ethnic backgrounds, different hair types. This is the thing I want to have a universal conversation about these things. I can only know what this hairstyle looks like on me. I can't know what it's going to look like on other people. That's why I wanted to make this video, so we could collaborate on this hairstyle. So that's enough from me. You take it from here in the comments right below.